Brian, what went into the decision to start Braxton and then bring it in Ty in the fourth quarter? What went into that decision as well?
The decision to start Braxton?
Yeah, and then bringing Ty in.
Yeah, well, you know, Ty went out in the Charlotte game with a rib injury. It seemed to be pretty good during the week. Just didn't know how that was going to turn out for him. And so obviously we invested a significant amount of time in Braxton, you know, with the first group, and really felt like he had a really good week of practice. I was excited about where he was at and the progress that he was making. Then the decision to get Ty in the game was based on the flow of the game and just needing to change and trying to find a spark and some momentum, and felt like we needed to start throwing the football there, and you know, and Ty's been pretty good in those situations, and so just felt like we needed to do something different and try to get some momentum going there, try to create a spark.
So, I mean, can you talk about the offense as a whole? I mean, obviously up until the final drive, he wasn't able to do much.
Yeah, it was yeah, just simply, you know, not good enough. I thought that they defensively out-physicaled us. We couldn't sustain blocks on the perimeter. Didn't sustain blocks on the interior either. Just couldn't establish anything at the line of scrimmage. You know, when you can't get the inside run game going, it makes things difficult. You know, and I thought when we tried to get the ball on the perimeter, I thought they, you know, thought they out-physicaled us out there. We couldn't sustain blocks, couldn't stay on blocks, and we knew it was going to be a physical football game. We thought that was the key to us winning the game, and I just thought they out-physicaled us defensively. And you know, we got to be able to get the run game going inside. We can't do that. It makes it arduous.
Well, obviously they came in ranked 5th nationally in rushing defense, and they showed why. That seemed like their 2 linebackers, Youngblood and Richter, number 8 in particular. I think they totaled 20 tackles, 8 of which were for loss. They were kind of running free, and they were in the backfield all day, it seemed like.
Yep. I thought, you know, to back up just a little bit, you know, hats off to Air Force. That's a hell of a football team. Knew that going into the game. Thought they played lights out on defense. We didn't do anything to help ourselves, but I thought those 2 guys in particular played really well. Thought 8 was all over the place, and big physical guy, and we couldn't block him. And but they're a heck of a football team, and you know, it is what it is. We got our butts kicked on that side of the ball today. I thought, you know, defensively, and outside the long touchdown pass that we gave up there, which can't happen in these games. Thought we played really well. You know, they struggled running the football. I think they had 8 first downs, you know, offensively, if the stats are right, Strauss.
Yep.
So, you know, I thought, you know, on the defensive side of the ball, we probably did enough today to give ourselves a chance to win. Just not good enough offensively, and didn't. I think this was probably our worst performance on special teams. You know, we had 3 kickoff returns. We started drives inside our 20-yard line. You know, I think 2 on the 14. And, you know, field position was an issue in this game, too. We were backed up quite a bit into the first half. In the third quarter, felt like we were playing out of our own end zone, so it was hard to get anything going. But we just couldn't get any momentum. We couldn't get first downs. You know, I don't know how many 3 and outs we had, but, you know, it was we got to be better, you know. And it's we got to be better as coaches, put these guys in a better position, making sure that the things we're asking them to do are things they can do. But we got to get better fundamentally, and we got to be more physical. You know, we have to be able to establish a run game here to have success at what we're doing, and we just were not able to do that today. And a large part of that was them, but some self-inflicted stuff too. It wasn't just, you know, missing some blocks or sustaining blocks. It was some execution stuff as well. So we got to get better.
On the day, we started 6 drives inside our own 20.
Yeah, Coach, you talked earlier about how impressed you were with the defense. I mean, Air Force has put up a lot of points this year. It was kind of a mystery all week who was going to start a quarterback for them. In your defense, it felt like stepped up in a big way. How did you feel about them kind of rising to that challenge and really only holding their offense to 10 points?
Yeah, I thought we had a great plan going in. Coach Volker and defensive staff put together a great plan. I thought we prepared the way we should during the week, that our kids were locked in. You know, I counted on the quarterback plan. Been around long enough to know better, and truthfully I hoped he would. You know, so But no, I thought defensively, like again, outside of I think we gave up 3 X plays in the first half, 2 passes and a long run where there was a miscommunication on the force call on the perimeter. We didn't have a pitch player. But then the 2 passes were, eye violations, by our guys, and the long pass too, probably not the best call to be in that situation. Still, you got to get the ball tackled there. But outside of that, I thought those guys played pretty lights out. To be on the field as much as they were in the course of the game, I was proud of the way they played.
Right, so what do you tell your players after a game that means obviously so much to the program and the team, and, coming up short?
And it's super disappointing. This is a big time opportunity for us to kind of get things turned around. And the first leg of the CIC obviously means the world to us, since it's one of our most important goals. And so it's devastating, for our players. And but the Secretary of the Navy was in after the game and talked about a lot of things going on in the world, and just got to put it in perspective as well. We got a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. I love our locker room. I love our players. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. You can never let success go to your head, never let failure get too close to your heart. Is what I told them after the game. And we got a bye week coming up, and we got to rest up and recover. We're a banged-up football team right now, particularly on the offensive side of football. It's been the last 2 weeks on the offensive line, been tough sledding, and we got some guys playing banged up, some tough dudes. Just to keep their heads up, and still got a lot left to play for. How we respond after this bye week is going to tell you everything you need to know about our football team and who we are, and what kind of character we have. And I think, man, I know our kids are resilient. They'll come back to work next week, and we got to go get better. And potentially 5 games left, a lot to play for. So this isn't the end of our season by any stretch of imagination. But at the same time, it does take some wind out of your sails, and it's going to hurt, and it should. And if it didn't, I'd be concerned. And but we got to bounce back. We got to put it behind us. We got to move forward and find ways to get better. And it starts with me and our coaching staff, and how can we help our players and maximize who they are, and we'll do that. And our players will bounce back. I promise you that. I know who we are, and I'm not concerned about that. But this is a tough one. It is, because I really felt like we had a great chance to win this football game going in. I think our players did too. But that's a great football team. I knew we'd have to play great to win it, on both sides of the football, and we just didn't. So it wasn't enough.
What happened on that long pass play? You had an outside linebacker, Luke
Yeah.
Pierce, matched up against one of their fastest receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Was he supposed to have help over the top there?
Yes. Now he's supposed to bang the outside shoulder of the wheel route and get it funneled inside, slow it down a little bit, and run with it. And the corner's what we call a cheat half player. He's got to get a little help there. I think Duhart was probably a little shallow with his alignment. And the truth is, if they do throw the wheel right there, we got to at least break off and get the thing tackled and get over the top of us. And after we made the call, we saw the formation. I was afraid that was what we were about to get. And we got to coach it better, and we got to put ourselves in a better situation right there. And to ask him to run with the slot, without any help is a difficult thing for an outside linebacker, obviously, to do. And so, that's on us.
You mentioned all the injuries on the offensive line, and I noticed Connor McMahon, he was limping after coming out a few times. Do you have any status on that, or is he going to be ready to play in 2 weeks?
I hope so. I hope this bye week gives him time to rest up, and he needs it, man. A bunch of our guys do. He's a tough dude, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate Connor McMahon for toughing it out the last 2 weeks. Played in the Charlotte game with really 2 bummed ankles. These guys are tough, and I think he rolled it twice during the game and went back in. There's not a lot of people that would do that. We needed him. We had a bunch of guys banged up, ran out of tackles today, and Sam Glover dislocated his shoulder during the course of the game. I think he went back in there. So there's some tough dudes. We're banged up. We're banged up, and of course that doesn't help during the week of preparation when guys aren't practicing. You go out and play on Saturday, you got to practice during the week, and I think that hurt us, obviously.
So without looking at the film, but just based on the naked eye, what did you feel was happening up front? Were they They played an even front, first of all, which is odd. I don't want to say, which is not normal for them. But was it their D-line guys that were really setting the tone, or do you think they're just, how were they overwhelming?
No, I think I certainly think the D-line set the tone, and they gave us some different things up front. It was nothing that we didn't work on, during the course of the week. That's what you expect when you play them. That's what they've historically done against us, giving you multiple fronts and stem the front. And what we were doing run game wise in the game plan was designed to handle that stuff. And I think at the end of the day, we just, like I said earlier, didn't stay on blocks. Combination of not staying on blocks, getting out physical a little bit, and across the board, on the interior, on the perimeter. They're a good defense. They just, like I said earlier, they out physicaled us today. And there were a couple of times, for example, we throw a bubble out in the perimeter. We've got numbers, but we can't sustain the 2 blocks for long enough, and what should be a good play for us, and there has been at times, it just wasn't today. And we just couldn't get anything going, even when we felt like we had numbers.
So did it bother you at all, the gamesmanship of Coach Calhoun saying that the quarterback was out for a while, making it sound like he's going to miss multiple games when, in fact, it appears he wasn't hurt bad enough that he was going to miss this game?
Like I said earlier, I expected him to play. I don't, being out for a while might mean to him that he's out until Wednesday of game week, so we expect him to play. And so, no, it doesn't bother me.
We'll just talk about how difficult this one is. Obviously, the first leg of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, you always want to beat Air Force, and as seniors, you all are not going to get one against them.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. It's tough, hard-fought game, and, it didn't come out on top.
Braxton, what was it about Air Force's defense that made it such tough sledding for you guys offensively?
They were a physical team. We prepared all week. We knew that they were going to be physical. We had to come out and out-physical them, but, that just didn't go in our favor. We got a lot of things to work on and clean up.
Braxton, how did you feel in your first career start? Obviously this is a tough way to get going against an Air Force team that has one of the best defenses in the nation. How'd you feel?
It was a good first experience, going out there against a good crowd, against, like you said, a ranked team. But we still came up short, so that's in the past now. Getting ready for the next game is my biggest concern.
Braxton, what were they doing defensively that made it so difficult on you guys to kind of get things going?
I think Coach Newberry hit the nail on the head. It's really just out-physicaling us. I think our game plan, we were capable of beating those guys, but just, them being physical and coming off the ball, getting in the backfield, pressuring me, making me have to do things outside of what we planned. That played a big factor. So just kind of messing up us up front.
Colin, do you take, some solace in the fact that the defense played so well? You only held them to 10 points. I think they finished with 8 first downs. Is there a positive to take away from that, the fact that this defense played so well?
Yeah, there's a positive in that, but overall we have to be better as a defense. We still let up one big play. That can't happen. So we'll be better as a team next time.
Will, on their long pass play for a touchdown, what were kind of the breakdowns there that kind of allowed that to unfold?
Just small coverage things, just like Coach Newberry said, with the outside linebacker and I think corner, he said, just better help over top. But it's just tough play. 2nd and 9, pinned in. Just need to get tackled.
Will, just about how important it is to bounce back, like what Coach was saying. You've got, plenty of season left here. You get going again against Temple on the road, back in American Athletic Conference play. You've got to put this one behind, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we got 5 games left. we have 3 wins, we still make a bowl game, and then beat Army.